Mikey, I know you had a taste of playing in the Cherry and White last season, so supporters would have seen you already. But for supporters that don't know that much about you, can you tell us a little bit about your background, sort of where you started playing rugby and your journey through to Hartpury and then eventually to Gloucester as well?
Yeah, so growing up in Cornwall, I played a lot of rugby at school. I then went down to Falmouth, which I think was level 7 at the time. That was my first experience of men's rugby, and in level 7. I then was lucky enough to go to New Zealand for a year. Played some rugby out there, and then when we came back, I came back from there. We relocated as a family and moved up to Gloucester. I then went to Cinderford. Had to play second team at Cinderford for a year or so, and then I got my opportunity in the ones. Did 2 years there, signed for Hartpury. I've done 2 years at Hartpury, and made the jump across to Kingsholm.
And obviously, a lot is made of the relationship between Gloucester and Hartpury, and none more so for yourself. Obviously, I guess you have nothing but positive words to say about the rugby you've played there and the opportunity that it's given you to wear the Cherry and White of Gloucester.
Yeah, 100%. I think Hartpury gave me an awesome opportunity. They plucked me out of National One and gave me an opportunity at that high level. And to play in the Championship was probably something I never thought would happen as a kid. But yeah, and then they gave me that opportunity. And like you say, that link with Gloucester here is awesome for us. And it's not just myself. There's a couple of other boys. Josiah, for example, we played on Friday night as well. That link's something that I think that could be made more of potentially. But yeah, for me, on a personal point of view, that link's been crucial for making this opportunity happen.
And like I mentioned, obviously you did get the chance to play a couple of games for Gloucester last season on permit. Did that give you an extra bit of sort of hunger and desire to sort of want to keep doing that and do that again? And obviously you signing a permanent deal in the summer is obviously must have been a really proud achievement.
Yeah, for sure. I think I never really thought it would happen. You obviously dream of it as a kid, but reality sets in as you get a little bit older and you realise you might not make it. But yeah, I got the opportunity back end of last year, and I think I just had to grab that with both hands. And I was lucky enough that the coaches were impressed enough, and made a permanent deal over the summer.
And what have been the main things you noticed? Obviously, training here week in, week out with some massive international star names, and like playing here at Kingsholm on the weekend as well, which has been a special one for you.
Yeah, for sure. I was lucky enough to have my family in the crowd, and it's an iconic rugby stadium. So any opportunity to run out here is an honour and a privilege. I think we probably take it for granted. We train out here every day, and against, like you say, with some of the best stars in the world, and particularly in my position, to learn off the likes of Thomas and Kalen is awesome for me on a personal point of view.
Yeah, how massive is Thomas for you personally, for your development? I guess those unseen bits that, yes, the fans see him lighting up the Premiership on the weekend, but I know for you, what you see in training and those sort of the desire and the work ethic are two of his main qualities, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%. And like you say, it's those stuff behind the scenes that the fans don't necessarily get to see on the weekend, and that's what makes him as good as he is. He's constantly doing extras, and yes, he's been injured at the moment, but he's still ripping passes all the time, and that's what allows him to make it look so easy on the weekend. And some of the stuff that he pulls out of the hat is awesome to watch.
How much are you enjoying learning off him and sort of developing your own game based off, and I guess not just him, Kalen as well is obviously a really highly rated 9 as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. Their consistency of their pass, their consistency of their kick is something that I really need to take on board, and I think that's the main difference between us at the moment. Coming from Hartpury, you could almost get it. Not to say that Hartpury's not at that level, but you can almost get away with not being as consistent. Whereas I think that's the difference between the top level and the Championship is, you can't get away with not being on the money. And yeah, ultimately, I think that's the difference. And to learn off them, to see how hard they train, to see what the effort they put in behind the scenes is awesome to see.
And the way Gloucester play, obviously, has been made a lot of the attacking sort of style, and that revolves a lot around your position, doesn't it? And I guess that's why we see the likes of Thomas and Kalen stand out so much. Is it something that you really enjoy as a 9, getting lots of touches on the ball and sort of putting your stamp on the game?
Yeah, for sure. I think, like you say, the way we want to play is exciting, and we're in the entertainment business, and we want to provide a good product for the fans that you spend their hard-earned money to come and watch us on the weekend. And like you say, as a 9, we get lots of touches on the ball, and it revolves around us. So for me, like my running game, something I pride myself on, and Gloucester playing the way they do really gives me that opportunity.
And I guess moving forward to this Bristol game on the weekend, that's something you want to keep doing, getting your hands on the ball and impressing, keeping the team ticking over and hopefully building on that.
Yeah, for sure. It's another awesome opportunity for us to run out here on a Friday night. And yes, we're building into the Premiership season, but every opportunity is massive for us as a side. And it helps us get better, helps us develop into that Premiership season, and helps myself on a personal point of view develop into the system and get touches on the ball. And like you say, that's what it's all about.
And obviously we mentioned your sort of Hartbury development, and there's plenty of boys that are going to be out there on Friday night that you've played with in the past, and that must be really special to sort of share that field with them.
Yeah, 100%. To make that step up with some of my closest mates is awesome. You know, like I said, never really thought it would happen, but to do it on a personal point of view is awesome. But to do it with my mates as well, it's, you know, that makes it even more special.
And will your family be back over at Kingsholm on Friday night?
I don't actually know. I haven't spoken to them about it, but I'd like to think so. My mum doesn't miss many games. Unfortunately, Dad has work a lot of weekends, so he can't always come. But yeah, Mum doesn't miss a lot, and it's really special to have her here all the time.
Cheers, Mikey. All the best for the weekend.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.